Good morning. Here we go. Keep this in mind. Brought to you by SpectHealth.com. I am David A. Specht. Have you ever heard this phrase? Clean up your plate. There are children starving in China. Or maybe we can't afford to give it to everybody, so you're going to have to share. These are all phrases, both phrases, of scarcity thinking. You see, scarcity thinking says that there's a limited amount of whatever in the world, a limited amount of money, a limited amount of food, a limited amount of love, a limited amount of relationships, a limited amount of people, or at least a fixed amount that you can touch. You see, scarcity mindsets often come to play because of our upbringing. We had parents that said we can't because, or we had parents that said you must because, and it was always due to a limited supply. And overcoming a scarcity mindset takes time. In fact, a lot of times we knee jerk right back into a scarcity mindset because of our upbringing. Yet if we can translate our lives, transform our lives, transition our lives and our thinking to that of abundance, it will completely change how we approach just about every situation in our lives. Now, let me explain. And these are some of the things that I've had to learn in my lifetime. I didn't have to share with other kids. I was an only child, but we often had other kids living with us. And so then I had to share. So I understand the concept of there being only a limited amount, or at least the perception that there's only a limited amount of love that mom and dad can give. And so you have to set yourself apart because there's only so much love. And if you don't get it, if Bobby or Susie gets it, then you don't get it. But what I have learned is this. Number one, there is an unending source of love. That love is not something that is created or destroyed, but that it merely exists and can be shared over and over and over again. That if you share love with one individual, it does not diminish your ability to share love with another. I've also learned that resources, while somewhat limited, are really in abundance to all of us. Opportunities are in abundance to all of us. I think about some of the people who in our industry think that there's a limited number of clients that we can help. Oh, my town is a small town and everybody knows what we do, and so that's our limited. We've maxed it all out. That's a scarcity mindset. You see, there's 7 billion with a B people on planet Earth. And of those 7 billion, if you were to really start breaking down the math, and I'm not going to go very far, but if you were to break down the math, you would see that is, now think about this, 7,000 million. 7,000 million. And then if you break it down even further and you find out what the population is in your area or the United States as a whole, or you realize that there's a lot of people out there. So my question for you is there a limited number of people that you can help, that you can show love to, that you can give hope to? Or is there a vast number of people, and now we need to kind of narrow it down to who we want to help and who we have the greatest ability to help? In the area of resources, we think, oh, well, there's a limited amount of money. There's not. Money's not backed by anything except the value that we assign to it. Therefore, we can always print more. So if you are actually making money in one area, you're not taking money away from somebody else. In fact, I think it was, I forget his first name, but Rabbi Lapin, who wrote the book, Thou Shalt Prosper. He's a Jewish rabbi. He says that money or compensation is the thank you for providing value or help to someone else. That it's not in and of itself good or evil. It is a reward. It is the thank you. It is the you did this for me. You have brought value to my life. Therefore, I am presenting you with this thing of value that I have. The person who paid the amount is not losing anything because they gained the value of what you brought to the table. You're not taking it away from them. They're not less than because they gave you money. So my question for you is this: are you living in a mindset of scarcity or abundance? What happens when you deal with things in this life? What happens when you deal with negative information? Maybe you look at your bank account and all of a sudden there's a whole lot more month left than there's money that you have. Do you immediately go to the scarcity thing with we can't, we don't, we won't? Or do you say, you know what, there's more abundance out there. I have just got to go cultivate it. You see, in this day and age, you can actually make money each and every day with very little effort. If you have a car, you can DoorDash. If you, there's so many jobs that you could literally sit down at this thing, type and do work and get paid the very same day. So there is not a limited amount of resource available to you. And if you're called to impact lives, can I tell you that the opportunity is great out there? That it's not limited. It's not limited to your location. It's not limited to your circle. It may mean you have to get uncomfortable and meet new people and do new things, but at the end of the day, there is plenty of opportunity out there. Sometimes you have to get into a bigger place to understand what it means to live in abundance. If you're from a small town like I am, and you look at who the quote unquote affluent people are, or the perceived affluent people, and the ones that seem to have more means than everybody else, and you compare them to the same level in a different community, you will find that their rung on the totem pole is much lower than you think it is. What does that mean for you? It means that your ability to climb, your ability to impact, your ability to benefit, your ability to live abundantly is just as great as theirs is. But so many times we limit ourselves because of our limited thinking, because of our scarcity upbringing, that we don't think it's there for us, that we don't think we can make that big of an impact or that much money or that much prosperity or abundance. And yet, that's what we're called to do. If you're a Christian like I am, you should know that Jesus said, I came to give life and to give it more abundantly. And I know people take that scripture and twist it and turn it and make it all about money, but living abundantly means in all areas of life. It means knowing that the source of your everything is unlimited. Unlimited joy, unlimited love, unlimited resources, unlimited impact. But it's going to take a little bit of time. Going from a mindset of scarcity to a mindset of abundance takes time because our limiting beliefs and our upbringing and the things we've experienced in this life may be screaming at us that that's not the case. But just because something's screaming at you doesn't mean it's true. So my challenge for you today, as we go into this Memorial Day weekend even, what can you do to begin to move from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance? Number one, I believe that you should get around abundant people, abundantly minded people. And you'll find that they're some of the most generous people on planet Earth. Why? Because they don't see it as a limiting resource. They don't see that their generosity is taking away from them. They're just seeing it as, you know what, there's more out there. And what I give today is not going to diminish me at all. I encourage you to get into the word or get into books about abundance and listen to podcasts about it. Obviously, eat the meat, spit out the bones. If it doesn't align with your personal belief system, that's fine. But don't throw it all out just because you may disagree with one or 2 points. Because if we were to move from a place of scarcity to a place of abundance, it would radically change all of our lives. We would change the way we act, the way we react, the way we vote, the way we engage with people. And wouldn't we live in a better world if we all lived in abundance? Because there would be no one lacking. There would be no one. And if there was someone that needed help, there would be a laundry list of people lining up to help that person. Because we don't live in scarcity, we live in abundance. So if you need help in this area, I encourage you, reach out to me and Tina. You see, when we talk about health coaching, there are so many areas of health that have absolutely nothing to do with a number on the scale. We love that aspect because it is the gateway. It is the place where you can gain more traction. You can see more direct results in a quicker period of time than all of the others. But it also leads into that belief that I have that once you get traction in one area of life, you want to take on other areas. So once you start getting that body under control, once you start getting that nutrition under control, you want to take on the spiritual. You want to take on the relationship. You begin to see that there is hope and that you can grow and that you have the ability to change your life for the better, that moving forward will be better than anything that has led you up to this point. So have a great Memorial weekend. Think about what I've said. Do you have a mindset of scarcity or a mindset of abundance? Because if you first recognize that you're in the former, that's your current reality. If you want to move to a place of abundance, that is your desired outcome. And that tension between the two will help you make decisions and make moves that will move you towards that abundant outcome. God bless.